Hello and welcome back to Race for Days YouTube channel. I am so excited today. I am going over some of my favorite things, something that I've kind of dabbled into but not as much as I've wanted to, and that is gardening using medicinal herbs. So I garden every year, and I'll be posting that also because, again, we're in North Carolina. We're working with a clean slate. We're in coastal North Carolina on a clean slate, and so we have to rebuild the garden for a third time. We went from Oregon to Tennessee and out of North Carolina, and I always think it's fun to get out there and kind of just plan out that clean slate. It's just kind of ugly out there right now and bare, and I just can't wait to get the ball rolling. And the other day when I brought my child to their BJJ class, I just took my book with me and a piece of paper, and in between talking to all the moms, I was just drawing out the orientation. I had gotten my compass earlier just to make sure, like, where exactly is the east. Okay, it's not this way, it's that way. And so, you know, or whatever. But I have all that, and so once I had that down, I was able to kind of plan it out. So the garden will be parallel to our house, and I needed to have the directions in mind, exactly where the sun will come up and go down. And honestly, it's out in the middle of the yard with no shade. We don't have trees or anything, so, and we get lots of heat, so if anything, I think it might need a little bit more shade. But we will be planting fruit trees around it eventually also. Right now we just planted 2 river birch trees, well, back in the fall, 2 river birch trees and 3 blueberry bushes. But we'd like to get some fruit trees in towards the probably the southeast side of the garden, which will be, again, parallel from our house to the garden, house, garden, and then mini orchard. I am waiting on one more seed packet to arrive in the mail, which is Feverfew, and I have been having so much fun going through my herb book again. So I want to show you, this is the book I have. It's called Encyclopedia of Herbal Medicine. It's been very helpful. I've had it for a couple years. This is a great book. It goes over what the plant looks like, the different parts you use, what you can do with it, teaches you how to make tinctures and decoctions and salves and different things like that, which I already kind of have my head wrapped around the salve things because I also am a soap maker and I make bath and body products. I am just going to open this packet from Rare Seeds. I love their beautiful packages they send. I've always loved that. This is rareseeds.com, Baker Creek. They have the most beautiful catalogs also. And so I'm going to open that and then show you the other seeds that I have. And I'll be starting some today. I really need to get started on my vegetables today if I want to get my broccoli out. So it is the last day of January, and that's what I'm going to also be doing today, getting started on all my brassicas. And I did put some lettuces out, but that was before it snowed over here, which was a very rare occurrence, and it landed right on top of my bed. It might be fine. There's a couple popping up still, so I'm just gonna wait a couple days, and if I don't see any more seeds coming up, because it was a week ago, then I will probably plant some more lettuces and arugulas and things like that. Anyways, what I have here, and I will link everything, including the book, down in my description notes. This is Burpee Seed Starting Mix. It is organic and it is coco coir. You put it in a bucket and you add water to it, and it really expands. I had to put a cough drop in because I had a tickle in my throat, and I'll be honest, I have got another very mild cold a few days ago, but it's not bad. I don't have a sore throat or anything. It's just drainage. Anyways, these are so cool, these cough drops, these Ricolas, and I feel like I'm doing an ad, but I'm not. I like it because the ingredients have a horehound in it, elderberry, hyssop, lemon balm, peppermint, sage, thyme, you know, just herbs. And I'm very excited about horehound because I am getting that. I'll show you in a minute. But anyway, so as I was saying, before I had to go get a cough drop, is that this is coco coir. You put it in a bin, mix it with water, and it will expand. And so this is what I am using for the seed starting mix, and that's it. I'm not going to mix it with anything. These are my little seed starting trays. I think there are 72 of them. So that should be enough for what I'm doing, hopefully. I also have a lot of yogurt containers saved that I've been saving for the last 6 months. So I just cut a little hole in the bottom of the yogurt container, and then it's just what I've always used, and then I just put it in a bin, the yogurt containers, or these, and then I'll put my grow light over top. Alright, so first off, from Survival Garden Seeds, we have calendula. Calendula is a flower where you can use the flower heads and actually infuse it into an oil, and a lot of soap makers like to use it in soap or salves, things like that, for especially children and their eczema or skin problems. Grown adults do it, use it too, but it's used a lot with babies or children because it is very gentle on their skin, and it works. So I'm looking at my book here also, and it is an antifungal. It can help with athlete's foot, bites and stings, digestive infections, hives, varicose veins, wounds and bruises, acne and boils, diaper rash. And you use the dried flower heads, the whole head, or the petals. So that is calendula. The next is from Survival Garden Seeds, and it is Tulsi or holy basil. And this has adaptogenic healing properties. So it can be used in tea. That's why I have it. It is calming. It helps relieve fevers or reduce fevers. Helps with bronchitis, which I used to get every year growing up from the time I was 5 months old. It's an allergy thing. Helps with asthma, pain, stress, mouth ulcers, bites and stings. Helps to reduce blood pressure. Blood pressure levels and diabetes, helps lower blood sugar, and more. And my purpose for this would be to grow it and to make tea out of it. I would like to make some kind of powder with this for sore mouth areas, like if there's family member with a canker sore or something, you know, you could make a powder and put this in your mouth, and it really helps. Maybe even a powder that can go into a paste in a salve for skin problems, skin infections. So this is a good one to have. Holy basil. Tulsi is the other name it goes by. Now for the exciting part, I'm going to be opening up the seed packets. Aw, very exciting. Okay, so this is Elegance Purple Lavender, and this had really good reviews. I don't know how it's going to grow here. I've heard people say that they can't really grow lavender too well here, but I'm going to try it anyways. And you know, you can always amend your soil. I understand that you can't take the humidity away. So I'm still going to try it and see what happens. It grew really well over in Oregon, like really, really well. And I would make lavender wands with this. I would harvest the buds and make like sachets, sew them up, and just smell them all the time. I would make lavender syrup for my coffee, put cream in my coffee, and then I would put the lavender syrup inside, and it was so tasty and so good. There's just a lot you can do with this. It smells wonderful. You can wear it as perfume. It's calming. A lot of people have it in eye masks as they go to sleep. In those rice bags that you can heat up and put around your neck. It is very soothing. And some other things that it's helpful with. Let's see. It says with back pain, bites and stings, and I've used it for bites and stings also. Lavender essential oil straight on the sting. It really helps with the pain there and inflammation even. And burns and sunburn, of course. I have a whipped body butter that I just made a couple days ago, and I'm going to be posting that. I was late to the game in that, so I'm actually probably going to be posting this one first, but it is a beautiful body butter. I'm wearing it right now. It smells so good. It's got lavender essential oil in it, and so yes, it helps with skin, eczema, all of that, earaches, headaches and migraines, insomnia, neuralgia, stiff and aching joints. It says it can even help with digestion and asthma because of its a relaxing effect. It might help some types, especially where I wouldn't really call that asthma though, but it says especially where excessive nervousness is a feature. So I'm guessing that if the type of asthma, if you have asthma that brings on nervousness, it can really help calm you as to not exacerbate it even more. Another one of my favorite things to do with lavender is to put lavender essential oil in my soaps, and it just smells wonderful. But soaps, they are a wash-off product, and so the scent doesn't really stick around, but if you do put it in your soap bar, you can put it in your sock drawer, and it really helps your socks smell good. They're like perfumed permanently throughout the day, at least in my case. So you could use it for that too, and it just makes your bathroom smell good when you have the lavender soap out. So is it worth it? I don't know. Maybe sometimes to use that essential oil, even though it's a wash-off product. Or just use it in skin salves and body butters, and even some people will do lip balms. Other people don't like the taste of the flowery, lavender on their mouth, but I do enjoy it in a cup of coffee. Call me weird, I don't know. But let's see what is next. We have yarrow. All right, so I know this can help with hemorrhaging. So that is pretty cool. It says it's a perennial chaste snow white flower, popular herb used for colds, fevers, and for healing wounds. So this is a good one to have in your medicinal garden. This helps cleanse wounds. It helps with fevers, even varicose veins, with cold and flu. And so again, you're going to use the aerial parts, the parts above ground, and I will use this in tea and possibly some tinctures, salves. So this will be a good one to have on standby also. Maybe put it into a powder. So if there is a wound, you could take that powder and maybe mix it with an oil or some kind of butter and just put it on the wound to help stop the bleeding. And that is yarrow, common yarrow. Let's see what's next. We have some culinary herbs also, along with medicinal herbs, and they still are very good for you. So this is Genovese basil. It makes excellent pesto. It's popular among cooks. It's a famous Italian heirloom, and it tolerates numerous harvests. There's large leaves. I love basil. I'm so excited to have basil this summer with my tomatoes. Oh, that sounds so good. So, I also have the Tulsi basil. I also have some mammoth basil from a couple years ago that I plan on planting, because I love it. So we have a variety of German chamomile here, and there are so many ailments this helps with. Probably the most common, this is used in tea for relaxation. Oftentimes it's used hand in hand with lavender. It is very relaxing. If you want to take something that will help you fall asleep, this is it, especially in children. It's very safe for children to take. Chamomile tea is, and chamomile mixed with lavender also. But I love the smell of chamomile. My mom grows a lot of this, or has in the past, and she would dry it and give it to me, and it smells like apples. It smells so good, like sweet apples. So this is a variety that Rare Seed sells, and it can even help with Crohn's disease, eczema, skin issues, besides just being very relaxing. It helps with colic in babies, congestion and hay fever, eczema, indigestion, insomnia. There's that, what we're looking for. Been known to help with mild asthma, morning sickness, and more. So you use the plant flower heads and dry them. You can just pop them off with your fingers like that and dry them, put them in a glass jar, and then you can just steep them as loose leaf tea, or you can put them in your dehydrator. Several different ways. If you're lucky enough to have a freeze dryer, you could do that and probably put it into a powder and take them in veggie caps to help with stress. So that's a great one to have on hand. And we'll see how many of these turn up. So next I have rosemary, and we know that this is a wonderful herb for cooking with. This has actually done very well in Oregon for me, and it's done very well in Tennessee. So I'm interested to see how well it will do over here in coastal North Carolina. I get massive plants from one seed. So This is used on a lot of our dishes. I remember when the girls were 3, just telling them to go out and get a sprig of rosemary and they'd bring it back in, and it was so sweet. So I'm looking forward to having this again in my garden. So I don't have my feverfew in yet. It should be coming in a couple days. And so I'm just gonna read out of the book right here, show you what it looks like. It kind of almost looks like the German chamomile, a little bit. You're going to use the aerial parts of this plant, so again, everything above ground. And this was known traditionally as a woman's herb. It actually was known to cleanse the womb and expel the afterbirth and all of that. So that was like in old times. But now it's primarily used for migraines. And I thought this would be a good one to have because my mom gets migraines a lot and I get migraines every once in a while. And so I do not want to go to Tylenol or Advil or ibuprofen or anything like that if I can help it. I definitely don't do it while I'm pregnant, ever. But especially with children, there's certain medications that are linked to Ray's disease and autism and different things like that. So I realize though that herbs are very potent also, and you have to be very careful with herbs because just as there are some antibiotics that doctors, give you that they will prescribe, there's natural antibiotics in herbs and plants, and you have to be careful because it can strip you of your good bacteria also. Essential oils are something I used to use quite a bit. I am still using them, but more carefully because they are so potent that you don't really see what's going on under the skin. So it could be harmful, but I'm more kind of leaning towards just herbs and herbalism and what you can do with plants and a few plant heads instead of one whole bush that's extracted into a little jar of essential oils. It's very potent, and then we use so many of those drops, such a small carrier oil sometimes on children, and then wonder why they're having like asthmatic problems and things like that. I just don't ever want to make something worse thinking that I'm making it better. It is very important to know what oils you're dealing with, and if they run hot, or if you're giving too many natural antibiotics, it could be even messing a child up even more than what a doctor would be prescribing. So anyways, all that to say, I don't like to rush my child to the doctor just at the first signs of a cold. Of course, I'm that mom who wants to go to my medicine cabinet and find the things naturally that can help them. And what an awesome thing to see that the herbs that God's made can really help. Like mullein, we have some droppers of mullein, and that really helps with coughing and clearing phlegm out. And like we have horehound and the cough drops, and there's a lot of things that we can do naturally before I seek a doctor. So anyways, that was kind of like trailing off. But so yes, feverfew. I don't know how I got started over there. Oh, migraine. How I want it on standby for when I get a headache, a migraine. I will plan on drying the aerial parts and try to make a powder out of it and put it into capsules. I will make teas out of it. That's the easiest thing to do, honestly, is just to, because you do not need a dehydrator or a freeze dryer or anything like that. You just put it on your counter in some layers of paper towels. Make sure they're changed if it gets soiled at all, and you just let them dry, just air dry, and then you can put them in a jar and then save the dried plant for when you need it for loose leaf tea. So get yourself a tea ball that you can put your herbs into, or a jar if you want to mix herbs, you can even save a pickle jar, wash it out real good. And if you just need something real quick, just get like plumber's tape and write on with a Sharpie, headache tea. Like it could be chamomile and feverfew, something that's relaxing and that takes the pain down. It's also good for arthritis and migraines, headaches, and gynecological issues. So next is marshmallow. Marshmallow can be eaten as a vegetable. It can be given to babies, the root part, for them to chew on it for like teething, pain, and it is good for if you have a lot of mucus, kind of like I do right now. And I would end up using the flowers again and drying them or infusing them or something like that, putting them in tea. The flower part can actually help to soothe irritated skin, and the main thing for me would be mucus. So like during cold and flu season, when there's a lot of drainage, when you're trying to get rid of that stuff. So marshmallow was also once a key ingredient in the sweets of the same name. So it was used as sweets, in sweets. Very interesting. Marshmallow helps with diverticulitis, irritable bowel syndrome, asthma, bronchitis. Has a lot of helpful uses. Oh, here's a free seed for ordering. So this will be fine. This will be fun is what I meant to say. I've never tried this tomato. I love tomatoes. I love trying new tomatoes. So this is exciting because I was not going to order anymore because I have so many seed packs, but I was kind of sad about it. So this is called a Woolly Kate yellow tomato, and this looks really, really cool. Check that out. It's like a yellow purple heirloom tomato. And what does it say? I've not even seen this one. It says, let's see. It says it's a 1 to 1.5 inch sunny. So they're small, sunny yellow with blue shouldered cocktail tomato, fuzzy foliage, and lightly fuzzy skin, naturally pest and disease resistant variety developed in Hawaii. Recommended for Hawaii and other hot, humid areas. They probably saw my address and knew to send it to me. That's really cool because I live in a very humid area. So how fun is that? It's awesome. Lemongrass. So this is a type of grass that kind of comes up in clumps. It is used oftentimes in essential oils. It makes the house smell really good. I do like to use it on my wool round dryer balls, and I enjoy the scent of it, especially when mixed with like cedar wood and lavender or something like that. But this is also, it acts as a sedative. You can use it as a poultice. It's a good fever reducer in children. In the Caribbean, they use it a lot. It helps with flatulence, digestive problems, cramping, things like that. Let's see what else we can find here. with pain and arthritis. You can make a paste and use it on ringworm, and it helps to get rid of that. And of course, for like culinary flavoring, I just like the smell of it. I do use it in my soap sometimes. We have oregano. So, of course, we know this is so good in cooking and baking. So good. It says here, essential for Greek and Italian cooking. Beautiful and delicious, savory flavoring herb, also medicinal. So yes, I've grown this in all of my gardens, and I love this for cooking. I just send the kids out or go out myself and snip some off and use it fresh. And this is a wonderful, potent, it's a very strong herb. This is the essential oil I'm talking about though. So you can, I've used it before in essential oil, like for sore throats, and it does help, but it is very strong. You have to be very careful with this, especially with children, as an essential oil. But there are oil of oregano pills, and you can actually use them as natural antibiotics. So this does fight bacteria, and that is really cool. Just be careful with it. But let's see what else it does. It says, it notably, the one it's talking about is E. coli and Candida strains. It can help with many chronic infections, including the gastrointestinal and respiratory tracts. So bronchitis it can help with, and coughs, tonsillitis. It helps with bad gut bacteria, such as gas, bloating, abdominal discomfort, and can be applied to toothaches or painful joints. Not supposed to take during pregnancy, it says. So that is oregano, and this is vulgare or vulgari oregano. Oh, I'm excited about this one. So horehound, it says, is a perennial. There are mounds of silvery foliage around 18 inches tall and somewhat broader. It's a traditional remedy for coughs. And so, as we know, I had a cough drop earlier. One of the main herbs in it was horehound, so that's this right here, and that's exactly what I plan on using it for. I plan on taking the dried herb and making it into some kind of cough syrup for when my kids need it for coughing. You can give it to somebody who has asthma. It has been known to help treat or aid in people suffering with tuberculosis. Very cool. It is thyme orangelo. I think that's how you say it. So this is a fragrant perennial, top choice for baskets, rock gardens, or any location in need of a heady, scented, creeping herb. A perfect spiller herb for containers. It also makes a low-growing ground cover that can tolerate light foot traffic. So it's a type of thyme. It had good reviews, and I'm excited to try it because of the citrus scent and aroma, taste perhaps. And yeah, I mean, a citrusy taste with my thyme, yes please. So this will be mainly used on the culinary side of things. It is also known to help in infections like chest and throat infections, and so it will be good to have it on standby for that. It's also an anti-aging, has anti-aging effects, and helps with stomach ulcers, menstrual pain, and yeah, just all sorts of infections, and asthma and hay fever. Bee balm, also known as bergamot. Some people call it bergamot. I call it bergamot. So anyways, hopefully there's no wrong way to say it, kind of like potato, potato, tomato, tomato. although I don't know anybody who says tomato or potato. But anyways, bee balm, bergamot. I'm excited to grow this. I love, love, love this. This is a beautiful mix. Shades of mauve, lavender, purple, pink, and more. And it will bring and attract butterflies, bees, and hummingbirds to your garden. So it's good for pollinators. And the main purpose I want to use this for isn't really even medicinal. It does help with indigestion, but I just love Earl Grey tea, and this is found in Earl Grey tea. It gives it that wonderful bergamot flavor. So that is why I'm growing bee balm, to attract pollinators and for some Earl Grey tea. Lemon balm. This is such a good herb used for stress, helping relieve stress and anxiety, tension, digestion problems, so many things. It says here, flu with muscle aches, nausea, cold sores, chickenpox, shingles. There are so many things that it helps with. It smells so good. I love having this herb in my garden, and just even brushing my fingers against it, it just smells so good. So my primary use for this will be in tea. This is found, if you look at the ingredients, in many stress ease teas. This is one of the main ingredients, is lemon balm. So I want to use this. Let's see what it says on the back of this packet. It says it has a much stronger lemon scent than any other lemon balm variety. It has a crawling habit, so it is like part of the mint family. So if you don't want it spreading all over, put it in a pot or a garden raised bed or some kind of grow bag, something like that. It makes excellent ground cover, so if you do need a ground cover, go ahead and do it. It's a delicious tea plant. Yes, it is. I can attest to that. Small white blooms appear in summer. So I'm going to have a lot of white and yellow blooms so in my herb garden. And this is a lemon balm. Oftentimes you'll see like perfumes are made out of it, or I guess that's more lemon verbena, but this smells so good. I enjoy it in my garden. All right, next. Coneflower echinacea. This is also known as echinacea. It says this is the green twister coneflower, and butterflies, birds, and bees love this drought-tolerant, easy-to-grow perennial. Medicinal benefits with good looks to boot. Echinacea. This is a good herb, and it's like key in Western medicine for respiratory, fungal, and viral infections, like in bronchitis, and colds, and flus, and just respiratory conditions. Echinacea, I think we all know that echinacea is definitely a very common ingredient. It's very well known for helping with colds and flu and chest congestion and phlegm even. Another thing that it really helps with that you might not know is skin infections like acne and boils. So that is my primary use for this. It will be to take the flower, and you even use the roots of this plant, and you can dry the roots and dry the petals. You can use it in tea. You can powder the root into little veggie caps. So powder it. And so I don't have a freeze dryer, which that would probably help a lot, but I'm going to dehydrate it in my food dehydrator and then somehow powder it. I'm gonna have to learn about that. I really have not ever powdered I've not done a lot of tinctures. I don't really want to have alcohol in my house. I know there's other ways to make tinctures using vinegar, so I'll have to look into that. But some other things that echinacea can help with are bites and stings, cold sores, coughs and bronchitis, earache, canker sores, urinary and fungal infections. Elecampane. So this one I've never grown. I have kind of shied away from it because you need to dig it up in the fall and use the roots. And sometimes I already have a hard time in the garden getting to everything I need to get to. And preserving food and things like that. But I'm going to try this. I really do want to focus on the medicinal side of things this year. This is very good for coughs and bronchitis, especially chronic bronchitis. So I do want to have this on standby. Don't shy away from it like I did, because you have to dig up the roots. That is the main part that you use. Just remember, if you garden with radishes or carrots or beets or anything like that, potatoes, they're all underground also. You just clean them off and you eat them, right? Peel them, maybe. I just like to take it straight out of the ground and wipe it off and eat it a lot of the time. So it's really nothing to be afraid of. They're a little bit thinner, but you're just gonna do the same type of thing. Wash them off, you're gonna dry them, you're gonna use them. And it says large plant, yellow sunflower type, second year, so it does take a little bit longer to be able to use. Second year, fall dug roots, traditionally used for lung and other health issues, also an ornamental. Mullein. I am so excited to grow this. I know that you can find this herb like everywhere, just growing on, in ditches, on the roadside, wherever, but I just really wanted to get this common mullein and grow it out in my herb garden. This is another one that is really good for coughs and colds and things like that. Really good for coughs, and so that is why my primary use for this. So it says well adapted to cottage gravel and rock gardens and is an awesome pioneer plant. Short basal rosette of thick, soft, pale green leaves, tall stalk of abundant, dense flowers in the second year. So that is all that I have for my beginner medicinal tea garden. Of course, I have culinary herbs in here also that I will be growing out there also. I've grown some of these, but a lot of these, it's my first time, and I am super excited to get started on it and just to learn more about each one, how to grow and keep healthy and harvest, and then to finally be able to make it into some really good medicinal teas that are good for you, or salves, or tinctures, decoctions, all of these things that you can use herbally. I pretty much have everything I want in here covered. I have all of the herbs I need for cough, bronchitis, mucus, phlegm, chest congestion, things like that. I have all of that in here. I have many different herbs for skin and wound issues, and just healing herbs, that help with the skin. And I have many different herbs in here for stress and relaxation and anxiety. So I think I'm covered. I'm very excited about all of the herbs I have. I'm going to just make sure, I'm going to see which ones I can plant today that I can start from seed, and A lot of these you can just start them in ground as well. But if I can start any today, I'm going to. I will also be starting many of my root vegetables that I can start here in Zone 8A, North Carolina. I'll be doing probably some onion and broccoli, radishes. I'm going to be doing a lot of in-ground things too. Radishes, sugar snap peas, of course beets, which is one of our family's favorite. Even my kids, they love pickled beets. And yeah, just going to town on that. Radish, beets, carrots. This guy is hilarious. I just want to share this with you. I don't even know what his name is, but I see him on all of the Rare Seed Baker Creek commercials. And some people just need to give him a break. What a fun-loving, silly man. That just brings a smile to my face. He is so fun. I'll get started, and I will keep you notified on what is going on in the medicinal garden. I'll show how I have arranged it out there. I will actually show you a picture of what I want my garden to look like. So here is our house. It has the water spilled on it or something. And then this is actually farther from our house, but I just didn't want to waste space. So here is south, here is east, and that's pretty much exactly how it is from where our house lies here, with the garden being parallel, and then south over here, west, north over here, east. So it's kind of slanted a little bit across. Sun rises, sun sets. Now I have some big goals, and I don't think that we'll be able to maybe reach all of these goals this year, but I still want to put out what was in my head, just so that I can slowly but surely make my way towards how I see it. Because if I don't do that, then I'll forget, or it just won't be on paper. You know, you gotta plan for things. If you don't prepare, you'll fail, right? So you plan, you prepare, you succeed. And it might be slowly but surely, but you'll get there. So we will get to work making some garden beds and putting up some cattle panel trellises, but first I need to get these seeds started. So that's what I'm going to do today. I hope that you enjoyed this, maybe took something away from this, and I'll show you a snapshot in a second of what I'm doing with these seeds.